Greetings, redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, the one, the only Red's View. Of course, I am your gracious host, Jay Red. Thank you, everybody who's tuning in. Make sure before we begin, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Red's View. Let me show that ticker real quick. Yeah, so subscribe to that channel, to my channel. Also, make sure that you stream my latest EP. I'm gonna have that going all the way across. But stream Rewind. My EP Rewind is available on all streaming platforms, and you can look in the corner right there, and you see the album cover right there, man. So it's nothing but great feedback. Probably show a little video of it later. I dropped a video to Queen. Nothing but great responses. Something special happened for me over the weekend. If you've been watching my stories, you know exactly what that is. But nonetheless, I'm here. Now, normally I go live every Tuesday night around 8:30, but man, your boy was out of commission last night. Let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all make sure that you drink your green tea, your elderberry, your sea moss, take your vitamins because there's something going around right now. I kid you not. This is the most that I've gotten sick in a time period I can even think of, to be honest. Like I've got sick, like this is like the third time I didn't got sick this quarter. Real talk. And I was out of commission yesterday, man. Like I was just like, oh, and I really wanted to go live. I'm about 85% better. I felt way better because usually, thankfully, I don't stay sick for that long. But man, I had to postpone last night's episode to today. I really wanted to go yesterday, but I couldn't do it. But man, make sure that y'all take your vitamins, vitamin C. Make sure that you get your elderberry. Make sure that you take your sea moss, whatever it is. Keep your immune system up because it's something serious going around. Everybody's been getting sick, and I've been getting sick like back to back. Luckily, like I said, I don't stay sick for long, but man, something is going on. So be safe out there. All right. Now, let me talk about Charleston White. Charleston White has been heavy in the headlines right now for what transpired this past weekend at one of his shows. For those who don't know, Charleston White does stand-up comedy. And for those who don't know who Charleston White is, you must be living under a rock, especially if you're on social media, if you're on the internet, you should know who he is. I don't know what you call him, a realist. That's what I would call him. He's heavily on podcasts, always doing interviews. He had a great interview with Cam Newton that came out last week. Very good. If anybody has not seen that interview, I know it's 3 hours, but the content is amazing. It's a real good back and forth. So make sure that you go check that out. But what I wanted to talk about tonight is the fight that happened. He was attacked on stage while he was doing stand-up comedy. And I know you probably seen different people talk about it, different reactions, but J Red has not talked about it yet. So I want to have a chance to actually talk about this because I really wanted to talk about this last night. So I have this question. Did Charleston White's attack help or hurt him? Now you're asking me, why am I asking if it helped him or hurt him? It's different reasons. Now the first thing that I saw that people were gonna say, or people did say rather, was he had it coming. Charleston White had it coming. He talks a lot of trash. He talks a lot of shit towards people. He heavily criticizes rappers. He talks about gang culture. He goes against the grain. His shtick is to say controversial stuff. He says the most downright controversial stuff because in his position, he feels like in order to reach people, he decided to deliver it like how the rappers do it, which Charleston White has a great following, a lot of support. I like a lot of what he does, a lot of what he says. His interviews are very great, coming from different perspectives, and he makes us look at ourselves. That's what I can say as Black people, the Black community. He makes us look at ourselves. But with that, it does come a lot of scrutiny, a lot of backlash, and a lot of people will want to fight Charleston. But the thing is, Charleston has one eye. Has one eye. He's frail, real frail dude. So the thing is, if you attack him, even though he talks a lot of shit, if you attack him, what brownie points do you get in the streets? Regular, on the regular. Like, what do you get from beating up Charleston White? You know what I'm saying? Like, he says that he's gonna call the cops on you. He carries weapons on him. He pepper spray Soldier Boy, and He says that he's willing to die and go to jail for everything that he speaks on. So the thing is, he's like an evil villain. Like he's one of those evil villains that you really can't do nothing to besides ignore him. That's why you look at Boosie. Boosie ignored him. He was talking a lot of trash about Boosie. He ignored him. But T.I. is one of the ones who decided to take a stab at him, and he looked foolish. So if you're a rapper and he's talking trash about you, and if you whoop him, you don't get any brownie points. It's really like you know, hitting somebody, beating up a kid. You know what I'm saying? If a kid is talking trash about you and you're a grown man and you beat up a kid, you what? I know the kid was talking trash about you, but what? That's a violation. You don't do that. But but I'm not trying to call Charleston the kid. He talks a lot of trash and he says that he's willing to die and stand on and go to jail for what he believes in or what he speaks on. So let me play the video real quick on what happened if you have not seen it already. And this is fair use, and YouTube, this is just reporting the news. I'm not promoting violence and I don't condone violence, but take a look at this. Let me turn this. Let me turn this up.
I already got the back end. I don't give a damn about getting booed, nigga. I done already got paid. You paid to see me, nigga. You paid to see me. Lakers, Jazz, and Warren ass, nigga. Pull out some money, though. Pull out some money, though. Pull out some money, though, nigga. Bitch ass, nigga. Pull out some money. Pull up. I'll hit you on your goddamn head, nigga. Pull out some money, nigga. I'll hit you on your goddamn head. Pussy ass, nigga. Hit you on your goddamn head.
Boom. Boom. So you see what happened right there. You see what happened right there. From my understanding on what happened, Charleston started bombing because he's a comedian, but he's a comedian by default. And what I mean by that is he didn't grow up aspiring to be a comedian. He's just a naturally funny guy that does a lot of interviews, and people suggested that he does stand up, and he happened to be good at it. I've never went to a Charleston White show. I've never seen it, but from what I understand, he's doing good and he keeps getting booked. But he bombed. From my understanding, he ended up bombing his set and then started talking to the crowd. And it happened to be a gentleman in the front. I guess he was a heckler or whatever the case may be. And he said something to, piss off Charleston, and Charleston started talking about his money. I done already got paid. So when you do that, you already lose already. Like, because if you hear it in the beginning, because I want to see the full clip. If anybody has like the full clip on what happened, like I want to see what happened like 3 or 4 minutes before that took place. Because from my understanding, he was bombing, and he had to turn into, hey, y'all, well, I already got my money anyway. I got my back end, so pull your money out. So be that as it may, when a comedian, I know this from going to comedy shows because I love comedy shows. Anytime I go, I have to be aware that I could get roasted. I have to be aware that I could get roasted, and I cannot take it personal. Some people can't handle that, and some people will go on stage and attack you, i.e. Will Smith. So my first thing was I looked at the guy who went and attacked him as like emotional. A grown man can't sit his ass in the audience and control his emotions and go up and try to attack a comedian on stage that you paid to see. Now, I don't care what happened. He could have been talking trash to you or whatever, but the thing is, that could have been a part of his act, and we've seen it happen several times. So for the people that says that Charleston White deserved to get his ass whooped and all this other stuff, right? Y'all were the same people that were against Will Smith attacking Chris Rock on stage because Chris Rock said something about Jada. In the same sentence, I know Charleston White had it coming, right? If this happened in the streets, I wouldn't be saying this. But this happened at his show that you paid to see. So you already know what to get when you get Charleston White. He's a trash talker and talks shit about everybody. So if he goes and starts talking trash to you, you look immature and weak as a person to go do it. Now, like as a man, especially, you can't get in control of your emotions. You have to get up and try to attack him because the dude provoked Charleston. The dude provoked Charleston. If you look at it now, did Charleston have to throw the flower pot, and hit him? No, he didn't. But the dude was getting held back and he moved up a little closer. So that's why Charleston said, boom, you know. And then the dude ran on stage and somebody else ran behind him and then attacked Charleston. So, the question is, are comedians even safe? Now I know comedians are because I just saw a Vlad TV interview with Aries Spears, and he said that he had somebody come up and try to attack him on stage or got on stage. So I don't condone getting on stage to attack a comedian because of what they said. You paid to see them, so I don't care what happens. Meet them backstage, meet them in the hood, meet them in the streets, whatever the case may be. You take that personal, but as a grown man, you shouldn't be running up trying to attack someone because they're talking shit about you. You know what I'm saying? On stage. Like, now, if this was a thing that something was going on in the streets and you happen to be in the same area that he's in or same, building that he's in, and you see that he's on stage and he didn't slap your mom or something like that, that's completely different. But if you're on stage and then you start heckling and then he starts talking shit to you and then you get your grown ass up and try to attack him, nah, man, I don't believe in that. So I can't condone that. I can't support that. Now, to play devil's advocate, does Charleston White have it coming when it comes to talking shit? He does. 100%. And he's aware of this. He should have had security. Now, from my understanding, Charleston always boast and brag about how he goes places with no security. That's not safe. Now, did this help or hurt him? Did it help him because this is what he wants? Charleston White creates situations to where it looks like he done got attacked or shot himself or whatever. Y'all remember when he was talking about he shot himself in a strip club and I'm not sure if this was real, but didn't he get attacked at a barbershop or something like that? But I know he played a game one time on the internet saying he shot himself in the leg while he was at the strip club or some shit like that. But yeah, so is this what he wanted? Because it helps him by keeping him in the news, and it helps him by showing that by capitalizing off of his controversy. He's controversial, so if some stuff like this happens, it just fuels his algorithm up. Because you know what happens? He gets attacked and he gets like $10,000 an interview. You know how many people probably were waiting to interview him right after that, and the bag went up. So that helped him. He's already known for controversial stuff anyway. When the Soulja Boy stuff happened, when he made Soulja Boy, folks were ready. Folks were really ready to see what he had to say. So that's why I say, did this help him throughout his career? I guess you can call this a career. Did it help him? Because also, did the dudes who attacked Charleston, did it prove him right? He always talks about the black community and how we act and all this other stuff, right? And how we don't have the same energy towards white folks and all this other stuff. So did this prove his point? With all the hip hop culture that's out there and all this other different stuff, did the attack prove his point on how we act as black people? You know what I'm saying? Especially as black men, getting aggressive and all this other. Now, this ain't all black men, but from what I saw, that was an aggressive black man that went and attacked Charleston. But it proves him right. If these rappers, if he's calling you out and these gang members, he talks about all y'all do is do violence and all this other stuff, and he talks shit. Now, of course, you can't talk shit about people and expect nothing to happen. But if he says this is what you do, and then you turn around and attack him, does that not prove his point? So that's two ways it helps him out, because I know I haven't even seen the interviews that he's done yet, but he did those interviews quick. I saw those was up and I said, I got to have time to digest everything and get to it when I get to it. But did that help him? So his bag went up in interviews. His bag went up on his presence because major media outlets were covering Charleston White. Because for a while, it felt like he, because he doesn't have an official Instagram page. He always says something controversial that ends up getting down. He don't have a actual YouTube channel. He just kind of freelances everything. So this let me know that he's on celebrity status. So him getting attacked and all this other stuff, anything that happens to him, he's a controversial figure. So if he gets his ass whooped, he's going to laugh it off, because he did videos laughing the shit off right after it happened. He had like a lump or two on his forehead, but he didn't have any black eyes, wasn't missing no teeth, and was still talking shit. Still talking shit. And he could press charges. Now, see, the thing is, Charleston could sue the venue for this not having the security for allowing a civilian to get on stage, a ticket payer to get on stage to attack him. He could sue and get a bag from it. So that's another way that this helped him, fatten up his pockets. Now, let's talk about how this could hurt him. How could this hurt Charleston? In the future, if you do comedy shows and the president is set for people to attack you and more people will attack you, if I'm a booker, a concert promoter, a comedy show promoter, I'm not going to want to book Charleston White because it's too much of a liability. Especially if you look at what Charleston can look at, he was defending himself when he threw that flower, but he struck first. Charleston struck first. So somebody who's there could have been like, the dude who got hit first could have been like, I wasn't about to attack him, but he attacked me first. He could sue. He could sue the venue. He could sue Charleston. So all of this could hurt him in the future. It could hurt his comedy show pockets. Now, I'm quite sure, Charleston gonna talk shit about this anyway because he probably don't care because he wasn't trying to do stand-up comedy anyway. This is just something he happened to be decent at, and he's getting money. It's just another set form of income for him. So that may not hurt him in a way, but if he is trying to be a serious stand-up comedian and everything like that, this could really hurt him because the president has said, oh, we can attack Charleston. Ain't gonna be no security there. He brags about not having security. So we can attack Charleston. He could be the new hip-hop pinata. You know what I'm saying? The new pinata for everybody. So, but like I said, if I was a promoter, I wouldn't want to book him if I knew that he drew that much controversy in order to get whooped on stage. And he hadn't even been doing stand-up for a year yet. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if this was something he did on the regular, like for the last few years, but this is relatively still new for Charleston to do this. So this could hurt him. This could hurt his pockets if he's trying to get a bag off the comedy world. But yeah, those are the reasons I feel like this could help or hurt him. But at the end of the day, I think it helps him because the bag then went up. Now he can charge 15, 20,000 for an interview because everybody's going to tune in to see what he has to say about it. Everybody's going to tune into his live. Everybody's going to tune into his interviews on Say Cheese TV, wherever it is, because he has great interviews. So Charleston could do 10 interviews talking about this and charge. He can make his price. He can set his amount on what he wants to get paid. So you let me know in the comments what you think. Did this help Charleston or did it hurt him? Did it help him or did it hurt him? And it also, if you're watching right now, hit that like button. Please hit that like button for me. All you got to do is free. Just hit the like button and make sure that you drop a comment. But hit that like button, and then if you're watching this, hit that share button, whether you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, or whatever. All right, so let's move on. Cardi B and Offset. Let me tell you something, man. I'm so tired of hearing about Cardi B and Offset. Leave us out of the group chat. And it's not just Cardi B and Offset. First of all, let me talk about what happened. Cardi B made a video. I guess she was on live because Offset is allegedly cheating on her with Christian Rock. That's Blueface's baby mama. That's always in the news, always in the media for shit that because I don't even know what she does. Does she do music? Help me. Let me know in the comment. I always see her and Blueface always I know he does music, but this Christian Rock character, I see her everywhere. And I don't even know what she does besides being Blueface's baby mama. But anyway, Offset allegedly cheated on his wife, Cardi, with Christian Rock. And fans, of course, were flocking her page, talking about it. And Cardi revealed that she's been single for a minute now. Cardi says she's been single for a minute now, and she's been going through so much. And I ain't watched the full video because it feels like I hear something about their marriage every other month, all through the year. And for one, I think that it's fabricated. They got 2 kids together, but I don't be believing this stuff. I believe strongly that Offset and Cardi B draw up this controversy to kind of stay in the news, stay in the media, because that helps their pockets as well. Because people go on to do interviews and it just keeps your name out there. Because Cardi ain't putting out no music like that. Offset just put out a project. did significantly good when it came to numbers and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I'm tired of hearing about it. But this goes for Offset, Cardi B, Will and Jada, D Wade and Gabrielle Union, and Blueface and Christian Rock. Leave us out of the group chat. There was a post that I shared earlier that talked about these celebrity couples that constantly, against our will, we hear about their issues. We constantly hear about what goes on in the bedroom with them, who they had a crush on, who they're cheating with. Like between Will and Jada, Blueface and Christian Rock, Cardi B and Offset, and who else? D Wade and Gabrielle Union. We're sick of it. It feels like we're all in this group chat that we do not want to be a part of. Leave us alone. Leave us out of the group chat. I don't want to hear about it no more. And also, people who watch it, please don't send me nothing that Offset and Cardi B got going on. I'm getting tired of all this, and like we're literally hearing about all this stuff against our will. No pun intended, Will Smith. But it's like every other month we're hearing about something with Jada and Will. Every other month we're hearing about Christian Rock and Blueface, who I don't even follow. I don't even follow them. I can't name you the latest song. Excuse me. I can't name you the latest song Blueface put out. I can't name you what Christian Rock does, but I can tell you that I always see them. It feels like every week something is going on. I don't want to be involved in it, but unwillingly, I'm involved in it. And I don't know whether I need to look up other stuff to change up my algorithm, but y'all got to be with me on this. I'm so tired of it. Like, leave us alone and leave us out of the group chat. I'm so tired of these celebrity couples, man. Like, keep everything in-house. If you're gonna cheat with people in the house that you ain't got to worry about all that stuff. Now, of course, to play devil's advocate, I know they're celebrities, so what they do, and if they get caught or whatever, it could be highlighted. But I feel like a lot of this stuff is to keep us talking about them, because controversy does what? Create cash. But let me get a sip of water. But man, leave us alone. Leave us out of the group chat, because I get tired of hearing about it. All right. So recently, Diddy was in the news. Well, of course, Diddy has been in the news with the Cassie stuff and all these sexual allegations and different things like that, right? But there's something that happened, which I knew was going to happen. Diddy, it says several companies are reportedly cutting ties with Sean Diddy Combs following the string of sexual abuse allegations brought against the music mogul. 18 companies have terminated their partnership with Combs' e-commerce platform, Empower Global. Now that's messed up. That's messed up. But I knew it was coming. So the real question is it fair to lose business deals, lose endorsements, and all this other stuff over allegations? Now, keep in mind, he did do a settlement, but none of this stuff has been proven true. And I'm a firm believer that you're innocent until proven guilty in the court system. Now, I know the court system is wicked and everything like that, but how come and I'm going to bring up the race, when it comes to black men, if we get in trouble or get allegations, the same thing happened with Jonathan Majors. If we get any type of allegations going on, we start losing deals, losing endorsements. Now, to play devil's advocate, I can understand why you would do that, but also on the other end, it's like if none of this is true, which I feel like some of it could be. But if none of this is true, is it fair to lose these business deals? Diddy had to come down off of Revolt. He had to step down from Revolt because that's a company he helped build up, or that is his company, and he doesn't want his face to be on it. Same thing with Vince McMahon. He had those sexual allegations and the lawsuits going on, and he had to step down from WWE just to come back. But do y'all think it's fair? Is it fair to lose business deals and endorsements? Because it happens with black men for sure. With Vince McMahon, when he got in trouble, I don't think there were he lost any business deals. I don't want to say, I'm not sure if he did. I know he stepped down voluntarily from WWE. He backed away from the company, but I'm not sure if he lost any endorsements and all this other stuff. I just think it's messed up for a black man. If you get any type of allegations toward you, everybody wants to cut ties. Everybody wants to get away from you when you haven't been proven guilty. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's unfair. You can let me know in the comments what you think about that. But let's talk about this. The real reason why 50 Cent goes in on Diddy. Now, of course, since Diddy has been going through all these allegations about sexual assault, sexual abuse, sex trafficking, rape, all that stuff, there's been one public figure who's been going hard on him, constantly making memes, talking about making a documentary. That man is Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. So, like, every time something happens with Diddy, we see 50 Cent making fun of him. Curtis don't let up off Diddy. And it's funny. It's funny, but then it makes you, rub your chin and scratch your head and be like, why does 50 go so hard on Diddy? What is the reason 50 Cent goes so hard? Doesn't let, excuse me, doesn't let up off Diddy, wants to make a documentary and all this other stuff? Because I can say me, if I was in that position as a black man myself and I see him going through something, I might chime in and talk about it. Whether I believe it's true or not, I'm not finna keep talking about it. So it just makes you question, like, why is 50 Cent going so hard? Well, I can tell you why I believe so, ladies and gentlemen. Um, so now this is allegedly, or it could be reality, but I feel like I have a reason as to why he's doing that. Let me hold on a second. Hold on a second. Bear with me. Um, Trying to share my screen on something. Okay, here we go. All right, so if you see this right here, um, it says Daphne Joy, which is 50 Cent's baby mother, one of his baby mamas, responds to 50 Cent, please stop doing this to me. Now, if you read here, it says, oh shit, that's your mommy over there with Puffy. Remember what I told you the other day. These just be crazy. Daphne Joy said, please stop doing this to me. I never bother you, blah, 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 blah. So this is the reason why a lot of people may believe that 50 Cent goes in on Diddy. He was messing with his baby mama. Now, there are other pictures that you can look up with Diddy and Daphne Joy, but people are saying this is the real reason why. Because think about this. What did Diddy ever do to 50 that we don't know about? Like, they've had back and forth publicly and stuff, but he's always clowning, but never this hard. So Diddy was messing with his baby mama. And I guess that, 50 still have feelings for his baby mama or whatever the case may be. But this is the reason why he's been doing this with Diddy, going in on him. He didn't like that. And see, the thing is, if you got a baby mama, right, and some stuff is going on, you're not with her no more. You're not with her no more. So she does her thing. She had your child. So I know y'all are obligated to each other in that perspective. But if it's an ex of mine or it's a baby mama of mine or whatever the case may be, I don't care who you deal with. But 50 Cent obviously had a problem with Diddy messing with Daphne Joy. Now, I think Daphne Joy is some type of model or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But 50 Cent had a problem with it. Clearly. So this is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people believe that 50 Cent goes in on Diddy so hard. Because what other reason would it be? What other reason would it be for 50 Cent to go so hard on him? But yeah, he was messing with his baby mama. Because like I said, there are other pictures of them on the beach and everything. And I'm not sure exactly when this took place, but I happened to see this. My homeboy told me about this, but then I also happened to see this on social media floating around. So that's the reason why. That's the real reason why 50 Cent goes in on Diddy. And he's not letting up. The man is talking about making a documentary talking about, did he do it? Did he not? So 50, I guess you still have feelings for your baby mama. Maybe you don't care that she was dating someone else, but the fact that it was Diddy was a slap in the face to you. I don't know. Maybe they had previous stuff going on beforehand. Because this ain't the first time I've heard 50 Cent go at Diddy. I remember it was some kind of song. It was some song from back in the day where 50 was like, man, you know who killed Biggie. He's always had a vendetta against Diddy. So I guess the fact that Diddy started messing with his baby mama, that set him off. So yeah. So yeah, I guess that's the reason. Interesting. For those who didn't know that, now you know now. Diddy was messing with 50's baby mama, so that's the reason he goes in on him. Quite interesting stuff. All right, so let's move on. And if you are watching this right now, please do me a favor, hit the like button. Hit those like buttons, whether on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, hit the like button. Don't cost you nothing to do that. All right, so let's talk about this, man. So Takeoff, and this is something I completely forgot about. He had some type of sexual allegations going on before his passing. Now, let me know in the comments, did this happen before he passed or after he passed? I can't even remember. But anyway, since he's passed away, it's been in the news that his victim wants his mother to take his place in court. You can't make this up. His victim wants Takeoff's mother to take his place in court. Now, this is an interesting perspective because the first thing you can point at, the man is dead, let him rest, everything, right? But I mean, if you put yourself in the victim's shoes, if you were raped, sexually assaulted, sexually abused, and if your attacker, and your abuser, and that person died, would you still want justice or would you still want compensation? You know, because I've never been a victim of sexual abuse and anything like that. So while I looked at it like, man, get out of here. That's my first reaction, is get out of here. But then I'm thinking, okay, in the victim's shoes, you know, would you attack their estate? Because I'm assuming Takeoff's mother has his estate, owns his estate. So I could understand from that perspective. But in the headlines, it was like, you know, she wants the mother to take the place of Takeoff. So it made it look like, come on, man. But yeah, I saw that, and you know, I had to look at it from a different lens and be like, okay, if you were in that person's shoes, wouldn't you still want justice in some type of way? But since he passed away, see, the thing is, I wouldn't want my abuser's family to go to jail or anything like that. But if it's about money, and I know that he had money and had an estate, you know, you want to get paid from it. So you sue the estate or sue the mother or whoever it is. So I can understand that. But the whole description of taking Takeoff's place in court, I wouldn't feel that at all. But that was the interesting thing that I saw. Now, this is something else that was very, very interesting. Camron versus Melissa Ford. Now, Camron and Mace have a successful podcast called It Is What It Is. It's a sports show. They talk about sports, and you know, they started this some months ago, and they already got the big bag. They got endorsements and different things like that. So I'm very proud of Mace and Camron. Camron's one of my favorite rappers. Excuse me. Mace did his thing from back in the day. But one thing about that show is, even though it's a sports show, it's unfiltered. It's a lot of cussing on it. Cam doesn't talk like Stephen A. Smith. Cam talks like a Harlem nigga, you know. So Cam starts acting like he's back in the 90s and just starts saying stuff. But anyway, so let's talk about what happened, man. Melissa Ford went too far on Joe Budden's podcast by calling out Mace and Camron for comments that they made. So when Camron and Mace were on the It Is What It Is podcast, they were talking about being in a whole house back in the day, back in the 90s, right? They were talking about being in a whole house, and I don't know everything that they said, but they talked about being in a whole house. So whatever they said, Melissa Ford said something about it. Let me show you what Melissa Ford said. And this is fair use, by the way, fair use.
I mean, I was just like, just read considering what just came down the pipeline, all these sexual harassment and assault lawsuits and stuff like that. This wasn't even in poor taste. This was just potentially you might be getting yourself in trouble. Is there a distinct possibility that there may have been?
Hold on. So let me go back. Everything that she said right there, factual. I agree with her there. Let's take it back and let me show you where she messed up at.
Is there a distinct possibility that there may have been underage girls in that? Come on now.
That's right.
Okay.
On a recent.
All right. Let's take it back one more time. Let's take it back.
Underage girls in that. Is there a distinct possibility that there may have been underage girls in that?
Come on. All right. So that's where Melissa went too far. That's where she went above and beyond. So thing is, Camron responded and said that he could sue the Joe Budden podcast for defamation of character. He started talking about, okay, you're not from here, Melissa Ford. You're from Canada. I can have you deported. All this other stuff. Now let me tell you this, and I love Cam, but what Melissa Ford said was factual. It was facts. In this climate of today, Melissa Ford was actually trying to look out for Cam and Mace on this. In this climate of everything that's happened with Diddy and all these other cases that have been going on in New York, and especially since Cam and Mace are in New York, why in the world, or from New York rather, why in the world would you talk about you going to a whole house back in the day? Because Melissa Ford is like, okay, basically, if you're saying that you was in a whole house back then doing God knows what, one of those women could say, yeah, I was in that whole house and I was raped. Yeah, I was in that whole house and I was sex trafficked. Yeah, I was in that whole house and I was gang raped. Whatever the case may be, those women could say that. And it don't even have to be factual. It don't have to be real. So why would you talk about you being in a whole house back in the 90s? You know how the block is real hot with that right now. So I agree with Melissa Ford on that because I would have said the same thing. You got to be way careful. You can't talk as loose and free like you could back in the day. So I commend her for doing that. Now, what I don't agree with is her saying underage girls. She went on ahead and apologized for putting it out there because Joe Budden and them had to get her straight. That's why you heard in the clip they're like, whoa, 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 you know what I'm saying? So that was too far because now you're going above and beyond and putting out negative information, and that is defamation of character because you're alleging that underage girls were there. That was unwarranted. That, like, come on, man. You could have just left it as you were trying to prove your point, and you were proving it, but you took it a step further by putting underage girls on Camron and Mace. That wasn't cool at all, at all. So she apologized for it, and Camron had something to say about it. He did like 30 minutes talking about it, but he was saying, that was back in 92 and me and Mace weren't even of age. He just started explaining, and I get it. I get Cameron's frustration and everything, but Melissa Ford was really trying to put you on game, and I feel her, because Cameron gets to talking too loose and get to talking about stuff from back in the day, and it's just like, bro, like things like that you can't talk about. And this is for everybody. If you have a podcast and it's big and stuff like that, you do have the freedom of speech, but don't be talking about what you did back in the day sexually, because that's what happened with Aaron Hall. If you seen that Aaron Hall has a lawsuit against him and Diddy, his name was dropped in it because of a Vlad TV interview. He's on Vlad TV talking about him having sex in front of Jodeci, Diddy. Yeah, all of them didn't see me fuck before. They didn't see my dick. They didn't see how big, I fucked bitches in front of niggas. And so a person could look at that and be Jane Doe and say, yeah, he forced me to have sex in front of Sean Puffy Combs because Sean Diddy Combs is already in trouble. So it's not smart. Anybody that, like, you could look at that. If somebody says right now, like, yeah, man, like say I was famous and I say, man, I was banging a lot of girls back then, you know what I'm saying, back at Jackson State, that. One of those girls could be like, or somebody I didn't even have sex with could be like, I was one of those girls, and it could make my image look bad. My image is tarnished because of an allegation. So no, I agree with Melissa Ford's initial response, but I don't agree with what she said after that, because now you're going too far. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard the term, you give a nigga an inch and they'll take a mile? That's what Melissa Ford did. So I can't rock with that part. But she was really trying to put Camron on game. All right, so shameless plug right now. Shameless plug. You see in the corner right here. Right here. My EP Rewind is available on all streaming platforms. Make sure that you go listen to it. 5 straight bangers that sample some of the favorite songs from the 90s. Make sure that you go check that out, man. I've dropped 2 EPs this year. This one and then also Red Velvet. And I got some more stuff in the works coming. But right now, if you like good music, you say hip hop is dead, all that stuff, you need to listen to my EP Rewind. It's available right now, all streaming platforms. All you got to do is type in my name and type in Rewind, and you'll see it. Dope artwork, dope album cover. Look at it right there again. This is a shameless plug, but it's out. And I just dropped a visual to Queen. It's a little viral video of the Queen that's on my page, on my YouTube channel right now, and on my Instagram. So make sure that you check that out. All right. So let's talk about Nicki Minaj. Pink Friday 2. Oh, yes, Barbs, come on in. All the Barbs that are out there, come on in because I want to talk about Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday 2. So let me tell you this. I was surprised. I ain't gonna lie. I was surprised that Nicki actually did a good job on this project, to be honest. Um, I think that this was a consistent body of work. Now, when I say consistent, I'm not saying that this is a classic. I'm not saying that this is one of the best albums of the year of all time and everything like that, but it's a consistent body of work. If you're, especially if you're a Nicki Minaj fan. See, the problem with Nicki albums is they're like Drake albums. They can end up sounding like playlists instead of like consistent albums. And but this one is different from her last one, Queen. Queen was okay, but it sounded all over the place. But Pink Friday 2 actually sounded pretty good. And I was surprised because I wasn't really expecting much. And Nicki hasn't really been doing good for me on the features that she's been doing. She can still rap, but her flow, in my opinion, sounds outdated. And it doesn't sound like she's trying to elevate. And I've said this on the show several times, and the Barbs have all came and attacked me and all this other stuff. I don't give a shit. But I commend Nicki for putting together a solid body of work. Now, the first track, Are You Gone Already? I wasn't feeling that. For some reason, Nicki always puts out like when she does albums, she has an intro song that sounds non-hip hop-ish. It's always pop sounding, and then she gets to the real rap. I don't know why she opens her albums like that. But anyway, but Barbie Dangerous, that instantly pulled me in because it samples Notorious Thugs. It samples Notorious Thugs, and I thought that was dope as hell. Nicki went in on that song. Then you had FTCU where she sampled some Waka Flocka and Gucci song. I like that one. Beat Beat was cool. Falling for You had a dope hook on it. Let Me Calm Down with J. Cole. Good song. However, the mixing of it was off to me. The engineer needed to do a better job of mixing that sample, whatever sample that was. It overcrowded the song. So that's what I wasn't feeling about that. But as far as the beat and the content of the song, that was dope. R&B with Lil Wayne, that was cool, but Lil Wayne gave an immature ass verse as usual. Now, my favorite song on here, ironically, is Needle with Drake. And that ain't even a rap song, but because it's more of an Afrobeat song. But it was dope. I really, really liked that one. When I heard it, I kept playing it back so much to when I was DJing that night, I added that to my mix. And it was dope. So I commend Drake and Nicki for that one. And of course, she put what Red Ruby, the sleaze on there. She sampled that. So yeah, the song with her and Future was cool. What was this? The Blessing song with Tasha Cobbs Leonard. That was pretty cool. So yeah, man. What I can say is it was a consistent body of work, unlike her last album, which was all over the place. And I wasn't expecting much. So maybe the fact that I wasn't expecting much going in, it kind of helped me out. But nah, it was pretty decent, especially if you're a Nicki fan. I definitely suggest that you give this a listen if you haven't already. But Pink Friday 2 lived up to his name, because the first Pink Friday is my personal favorite Nicki album because it had a bunch of bangers on there and it was dope. See, the first Pink Friday, she was able to blend in pop and rap all together. And she had dope songs like Moment for Life on there, the song with Rihanna and Super Bass and Did It on them. So that was dope. This is not like the first Pink Friday, but you give her credit for having a consistent body of work. Now, of course, it did have a lot of fillers on there. It had fillers, but that's common with 22 tracks. It's 22 tracks. Anytime it's a double disc of something, or if something is more than 15, 16, or 14 songs, if something is more than 14 songs, there's a high chance that they could have some filler. And filler doesn't mean bad. Filler just means that those songs didn't have to be on the album. We could have dealt without them. So she had quite a few of them on there, but all together, I commend her for this project. It is one of the best projects that dropped this year, and it is refreshing to hear a female rapper not talk about a pussy, not bending over, twerking, and all this other stuff. You know, Nicki got songs where you could kind of do that with, but it was a consistent body of work, and I'll give her props on that. So shout out to Nicki Minaj. If I had to rate it, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely 7 out of 10. All right. So let me go to Andre 3000. And y'all forgive me, man, if I sound kind of stuffed up because like I said, I'm overcoming the sickness and I'm trying my best, trying to stay hydrated and stuff. But if you are watching this again, make sure if you haven't, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ResView. Also make sure that you hit that like button. Hit that like button or the dislike button. It's all good. But let's talk about Andre 3000. So Andre 3000 disrespects hip hop? What? Andre 3000 disrespects hip hop? Now, why are you saying that, J Red? Well, it's because of this article right here. Excuse me. And what he said on it. So this thing was about why Andre 3000 didn't participate in hip hop's 50th anniversary celebrations, because Outkast is has the highest selling album of all time. So you would think that they would participate in hip hop 50 stuff together, right? But it says Andre 3000 explaining why he didn't do blah blah blah. He says that he was invited to numerous ceremonies but didn't attend any of them. He's not interested in reflecting on the past. He says, as I go on further, I just want to kind of keep moving forward. I don't necessarily like looking back. I think like the older you get, you kind of get this skin or this protective layer that's like things kind of roll off you better because you have a better understanding of the roller coaster in a way. I don't sit and try to rap every day like I was when I was younger, and that's all I did when I was younger. I miss those times, but it's like life changes, move on. So man, let me be here to tell you that that's a slap in the face to hip hop. That's a slap in the face to not participate in hip hop's anniversary, because this hip hop, you had a passion for it, Andre, and hip hop is what got you here. But to say that you want to move on and not look at the past, like that past is what got you here. Now we're not saying, now of course I'm an avid person and saying I want you to release a rap album, but put that aside. You want to release your flute album, cool. But it's not cool to say that you want to not look at the past and move on. Like hip hop, you just throw it away because you got fans that care about this. They're passionate about the music that you put out. You gave the world remarkable albums. You gave the world remarkable music, remarkable lyrics. Your artistry was out there for the world in the hip hop culture. You have, quote unquote, and I'm saying quote unquote for a reason, the highest selling rap album of all time. But you don't want to participate in any of the hip hop 50 celebrations because it's in the past and you want to move on. That's a slap in the face of the culture. It was already a slap in the face, in my opinion, with the flute album. Forget what y'all talking about. I don't even know. I'm not even a professional flute player, but I'm going to put this flute album out. But for you to say you don't want to participate in hip hop because it's a thing of the past, that I ain't buying that, man. And also, what I don't like is he's not doing no interviews with people of the culture. He's doing Gayle King. He's doing GQ. But Andre is not doing no interviews of the culture. Drink Champs, Rap Radar, Breakfast Club. He's not doing none of that. And I understand maybe you don't want to go on Drink Champs because you don't want to drink, and that may not be your thing. But you didn't even go on Breakfast Club to chop it up with Envy and Charlemagne. Now, to play devil's advocate, I can understand why you probably wouldn't want to go on those because they're going to hound you with questions about why, Andre, why not? Why won't you put out a rap album and all this other stuff? But you at least owe the culture that to participate in the hip hop 50 celebration, because Outkast is one of the biggest groups of all time. So for you to talk about it's a thing in the past, that's a slap in the face, man, for the people who went to the store. And see, Outkast was popping when you had to go to the store and buy those records. So if I'm a huge Outkast fan and my favorite rapper, Andre 3000, says that hip hop is a thing of the past and he don't want to celebrate by performing or doing nothing, Like, imagine how I feel as a fan. That's a slap in the face, bro. And I'm not feeling that, man. And I know it's a lot of Andre 3000 people that gonna hate, come at me and be like, "Oh, grow up, leave him alone. He can do what he does." And da. But come on, man. Even y'all should be able to understand how this is disrespectful to the culture. I can get that you don't want to put out no album, no rap album, and you on this natural high of putting out a flute album, but it's bullshit to just say, no, I don't want to do any type of hip hop 50 celebration because it's a thing in the past and I don't want to look back. Forget you, sir. So I don't want to, and then, like I said, he's not doing any media outlets of the culture, black owned media. He's going straight to the white owned media, which is even more of a slap in the face. So I'm not feeling that, Andre. I'm not buying it. And I saw a thing where he said the other day talking about he thinks that he wants to put out a rap album. What did he say about putting? He said he wants Outkast to put out a rap album, but I can't remember what he said about it. I think he said his life wants to put some shit. He said, I don't know, but yeah, man. Thumbs down, Andre. Thumbs down to you on that. All right, so Doja Cat, your girl Doja Cat, tells white fans to not use the N-word. She tells white fans to not use the N-word. So let me show you what happened right here. So right there, you could hear she said, "Watch your mouth." Doja Cat was performing, and I guess it's in her song or whatever that and I hopefully I don't get a copyright strike, but she had and she drops the N-word in some of her songs and stuff like that. But when she was performing, she told the white folks in the audience, "Watch your mouth." Now I don't know if she said that jokingly, but like just in the sense of if she wasn't joking and really wanted them to shut their mouths, right? Watch their mouths. Doja Cat, we ain't trying to hear that, girl. We ain't trying to hear that shit. You were the same girl during COVID that was in a Zoom meeting. You were on a Zoom where it was racist white folks saying racial epithets to you or towards you, and you just set your happy-go-lucky ass up there and didn't say nothing. So we don't want to hear nothing about Doja Cat telling white folks not to say the N-word when she was sitting. I don't know if you remember, but Doja Cat was sitting up there with some racist white people saying some stuff, just going along with it. And I think she has an identity crisis too of being black, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, she has some type of identity crisis of being black. So yeah, Doja Cat, we ain't trying to hear that. She talking about some. Now it is interesting because I did a video some years back when Kendrick Lamar had brought a white person on stage to rap his lyrics and got upset that the white person had said the N-word. And I'm like, black folks, if you say the N-word in your rhymes and you go to a concert, you know who buys the music the most. It's white folks. So you got to go in there knowing that when you got you dropping the N-word in your lyrics, that they're going to recite your rhymes. Now, they can't come to me and do it, but if I'm in the audience, I mean, if I'm on stage and they're rapping along, what can you do? Because you let these white owned record labels distribute your stuff and put your stuff out that drops the N-word, but you don't want white people to say it at your concerts. Now, of course, I'm not advocating that they should. No white person should say the N-word anyway, but it's the pot calling the kettle black when these rappers drop the N-word and have it distributed by these white owned record labels and corporations, but then get mad when white folks use the N-word at their concerts. That's something you have to be cognizant about and something that comes with the territory, in my opinion. That's the pot calling the kettle black, especially with you, Doja Cat. Especially with you, ma'am. We ain't trying to hear that. We ain't trying to hear that at all. You shouldn't be offended at all. I mean, shit, you let them say it on that. And somebody, you can send it to me or you can post it right here, that video where she was talking to those racist white folks and stuff like that when they was on there talking shit and she ain't say nothing. She ain't say nothing. So we ain't trying to hear that at all, Doja Cat. We ain't trying to hear that at all. Last thing I want to cover, Kanye West wearing a black KKK outfit. What? He was? Um, let me find it real quick. So Kanye was wearing a Ku Klux Klan outfit, but it was in all black. Let me show y'all what happened. Or let me show you the picture rather. So you see that? That's your boy, Kanye. Um, it says rapper reportedly denies anti-Semitism on new album Vultures, a collaboration with Ty Dolla $ign. So yeah, that's him. Now, why is he wearing a black Ku Klux Klan outfit? I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. Um, but there's a video. I don't want to play this because I don't want to get a copyright strike, but I don't know what the hell is up with Kanye. But Kanye continues to move the needle. Kanye is always going to be Kanye, and this is not surprising. This is not surprising at all. I don't understand the significance of doing this, And I saw Dr. Umar Johnson, say that the Ku Klux Klan actually got their attire from black folks from Africa or something. I don't know how true that is. I'll have to research it. But for Kanye to wear that, of course, it's attention grabbing. Kanye always has to do something before an album comes out. Now, him and Ty Dolla $ign have an album coming out Friday. I'm gonna listen to it because I like Ty Dolla $ign, and of course, Kanye is dope. Them put together, I'm curious to see it's a random joint album, but I'm intrigued and interested in hearing out, listening to what it's about. So I'm gonna be on the lookout for that. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about Kanye wearing that black KKK outfit. Of course, he's gonna do something to raise up controversy. That's what Kanye does. That's what Kanye does, man. He always pushes the needle, pushes the envelope, and gets everybody talking. But yeah, man, if you haven't already, make sure that you stream the EP Rewind that's available on all streaming platforms. Also, subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/RedsView. Like again, I always go live on Tuesday nights, but man, you can hear me. I'm kind of congested right now, under the weather, but I feel like 85% better. But I had to tap in with my redheads to get this good content out. Now, up next, we will have our end of the year-end wrap-up edition of Reds View. And that's when me and PM always talk about our favorite albums of the year, what we like, what we didn't like, all that stuff, right? So for bringing in the new year, if you want the year-end wrap-up edition of Reds View, make sure that you tune in next week. Hopefully it'll be Tuesday, but if not, I'll keep you posted. But that's going to be the thing. We're going to talk about our favorite hip-hop albums, the underrated rappers of the year, who had a good comeback, we're going to talk about all of that. So make sure that you tune in next week to the year-end wrap-up edition of Reds View, because New Year's is right around the corner. Christmas is right around the corner. So shout out to everybody who has been rocking with Reds View for these past few years. I have fun being on here with y'all, and everything we do is in good faith. So yeah, man, but this has been this week's episode of Reds View. I will see y'all next week, and holler. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on all streaming platforms. JAYR3D. I said streaming platforms. Follow me on all social media platforms. JAYR3D. This is J Red Reds View signing out.